And then the defense forces a Sanderson fumble. Jarvis Darnes recovers. That sets up another Joe Scott touchdown, and the Eagles stretch their regular season winning streak to 26 in a row. For the second straight year, they headed into the playoffs unbeaten. The playoffs are here. Pine Forest ran the table in the regular season for the second straight year, but unlike 1999, the Eagles are hoping they can make it all the way to Gainesville for the state championship game. Jerry Pollard and company hosting Ridgeview out of the Jacksonville area in the opening round, a 7-3 team coming in to take on the 10-0 Eagles. And in white, that's the visitors, Ridgeview, and that's Joey Lawson. He's going to ramble inside the 10-yard line before Parise Dancy drags him down 2 plays later. First drive of the game, Justin Rowe converts for Ridgeview, and they led 7-0, and a little bit of concern on the Pine Forest bench. But the Eagles' next drive, DeMarcus Blunt goes in from a yard out to make it 7-6. They miss the extra point. Second quarter, Blunt up the middle, dragged down at the 2-yard line. Next play, it's Joe Scott. Pine Forest on top, 12-7, and they're not done. Still second quarter. Brian Fisher throwing off the back foot finds Marcus Lewis, terrific receiver. 18-7 Eagles at the half. Third quarter now. Brian Fisher breaks a couple of tackles at the line of scrimmage, and he will cover 28 whopping yards down to the 3-yard line. Blunt takes it in the final 3 for a 25-7 lead, and the Eagles feeling a little more comfortable now in the third quarter. Still in the third quarter, Fisher rolls left all day, throws right, finds Carlos Finkley, nobody within 10 yards of him. The play will cover 52 yards to the 2-yard line. Scott would go in to score to make it 32-7. And by now the route is on. We go to the fourth quarter. Window dressing, DeMarcus Blunt, 16 yards as he gets to the corner of the end zone. 39-7 was the score at that point. And Pine Forest on their way. That should say 52-7. Pine Forest, the final, they win easily, and they'll play Rickards next week.
We need to play tougher defense to start with, but, you know, we played well. Our defense played. We only gave up 7 points against a good offensive team. These guys scored a lot of points. Defense played well. Assistant coaches did a great job tonight, and the kids played good.
Second round of the playoffs, drumming up a little business with Tallahassee Rickards, and DeMarcus Blunt behind Josh McClellan and Jason Hawthorne's blocks makes it 7-0 Eagles. Still first quarter, Horace Davis, Marcus Johnson, and Ryan Vandervoort pave the way. Blunt makes it 14-zip. The defense keeps Rickards' high-powered offense at bay. Mike Hanlon denies this threat. The Eagles thought they'd made it 21-0, but Blunt's long touchdown run would be called back. Still, the Eagles soared 28-0 on to the regional final and Escambia. They had both been here before. Escambia, a regional final upstart against the unbeaten Eagles. And the Gators broke on top with an early strike. John Fuller's long touchdown pass gave the Gators the early lead, but it was far too early to celebrate if you were a Gator. Pine Forest defense takes control. Keith Griffin forcing the Fuller fumble, and the Eagles recovered. Then behind Cody Reese, DeMarcus Blunt carried out a flawless fake. Brian Fisher scored. The Eagles were on the board. Still second quarter, Reese and Horace Davis sealed things off. Joe Scott gave Pine Forest the lead. The Eagles then turned it over to Blunt. Blunt scoring from medium range. Before the carnage had ended, the Eagles had a 42-14 win and a date in the state semifinal at Bellevue. Pine Forest was so dominant and Bellevue was so remote that the Eagles already led 21-0 by the time the cameras showed up. Brian Fisher still provided a show, the most spectacular 13-yard run anywhere this year. Blunt was again devastating behind that offensive line. The Eagles won going away, 41-14, setting up a date with the top-ranked Aquinas Raiders in the championship game in Gainesville. Steve Nissen was there for a championship classic.
St. Thomas Aquinas had the championship game experience, and that showed early as Pine Forest quickly found themselves playing from behind.
I think we started out the game a little nervous, but they ended up playing real well.
We said we were going to have to adjust as the game go on, so we made some changes and we got back into our game.
After the defense got their footing, The offensive turnaround came through the air. Brian Fisher and Marcus Lewis hooked up on a pair of key plays in the second quarter. A 47-yard bomb set up the Eagles' first touchdown. And then a spectacular effort just before the half gave Pine Forest the lead.
I don't know what, we just clicked tonight. Everybody was stuck on number one, number two. Coach said big-time players step up in big-time situations. I told him I was a player. I had to come out here and prove it. We kind of figured we could pass on them once we started the game, and it worked.
The dramatic finish at Florida Field provided more twists and turns than anyone could have imagined. Pine Forest had a chance to win in the final seconds, but Yancey Gordon's 33-yard field goal try sailed just wide, creating the first overtime game in state finals history. In the second OT, Aquinas caught a break. Dominic Anderson was given a touchdown when replay showed he was clearly down before reaching the end zone. But the favor would soon be made up. After the Eagles scored, Caleb Lucar's extra point try was perilously close to ending their season until the refs called it good.
I had honestly thought I missed it, but it did squeeze in there.
That set up a third overtime, and Fisher responded with a TD pass to Dustin Kleckler. Aquinas was on the verge of forcing a fourth OT, but Justin Montgomery fumbled inches from the goal line. Eagles cornerback Sean McDowell won the battle for the ball, and Pine Forest had won the war.
I seen it on the ground, I dove for it. I Coach told him when we go back out there, that ball hit the ground, cover it. Don't try to return it. And I just jumped on and pulled away from the line.
The play capped off a tremendous game, an undefeated season, and the school's first state title in 12 years.
All that hard work, all that hot in the summer, all that paid off. Pushing that bus around the track, all that. Same time Coach was making us do that, but the hard work paid off.
In Gainesville with the photographer known as Mac, Steve Nissom, Channel 3 Sports.
The Pine Forest Eagles, perfect ending to their third championship season.